My name is Chase Myers. My story is about Lexington dating culture and dating apps in general. So I was tasked with going on these dating apps, meeting people, going on dates, and just kind of sharing my story with KRNL. Before I started the story, most of my experience with dating apps has just been, I would log on to the app for a couple weeks, I would chat with a couple people, and it wouldn't really go anywhere, so I'd delete the apps and move on, and it would kind of be that back and forth for a while. This is the longest I've ever stayed with the apps and really gotten into them and figured out the nitty-gritty behind how they work and the different cultures that bubble up in each different community. I think when I had much more of a drive to actually get dates, it was a much different experience. It was a lot easier to just say, hey, coffee this day? Sure. And it would just happen. Versus in the past when I was more just kind of on there just to see the vibe of what was happening, it was just more kind of just this weird middle ground. So I'd say the experience overall on getting the dates was easier and more enjoyable, but the contents of the dates themselves, that's a different question. I'd say the best dates are the ones where you feel the most normal after them. The worst experiences are the ones that made a story. I'd say there's 3 that have been used as stories for the article, and one of them involved the person getting wildly drunk and making me foot the bill. One of them involved them showing up 2 hours late and oversleeping to a 4 p.m. meeting time. And one of them involved driving to Nashville for Italian food. The biggest problem, I think, is that you don't really know the person until you get there in person and meet them. I mean, you have infinite time to conduct a text and make it seem like you're very well put together and like you're like them, but behind that screen you could be Googling their favorite, song or whatever. My conclusion of the apps was that Tinder is the worst, Bumble's in the middle, and Hinge is probably the most agreeable, like, this is for dating purposes. Tinder felt the most like a game. It offered you things like power-ups and like really incentivized buying the experience rather than trying to meet new people. It was also very difficult to find matches on the app. Bumble was a little bit better. I think there was more of an incentive to like match with people, but the gimmick behind it being that one person has to reach out to the other made actually committing a much bigger struggle. And then Hinge, I think, has the most going for it because you can actually customize what you say to people when you reach out to them, when you like their profiles. It feels a lot more personal than just a quick swipe. It's less robotic, I think, and more human. Recognize that you can take things slow, and your mom will always say like love finds you. You don't have to go searching for it, but it really is true. It's not, this isn't a game as much as these apps want to make it seem like a game. You got to have empathy with people. Then you can't treat them like just another pawn in the game. So really take your time to get to know someone and don't just flip the pages to the next best thing, because the next best thing is one that you're actually going to take the time to invest in. I'm very proud of my story at the end. I think I went through a lot to get it done, but it was worth the investment.